Your Mitsubishi remote has no idea how hot your room is. That catches people off guard, but the handset in your hand has no temperature sensor in it at all. The part that actually reads the air is up inside the wall unit, so the number on the screen is only the temperature you are asking for, never the temperature you have. Once you know that, the whole thing gets a lot less intimidating. This remote looks complicated, but it really is not. There are about 6 buttons that matter, and the rest you will set once and never touch again. The only real trouble is that a few of these symbols do the opposite of what they look like, and nobody warns you first. So let me walk you through what every button actually does. Start with the face of the remote, the part you can see without opening anything. The big button, usually red, is on and off. The up and down arrows set the temperature. On a lot of the basic Mitsubishi handsets, that is the entire front. Everything else lives under a cover that slides down, and I cannot tell you how many people go years without knowing that panel even opens. The clock, the timer, the fan, and the airflow buttons are all hiding under there. If you have been staring at 3 buttons wondering where all the features went, slide the front down. That is your first move. Now the modes, which is where the confusion really starts. There is 1 button marked mode, and every press moves you to the next one. Cool is the snowflake symbol, and that is your air conditioning. I know it makes you think of winter, but that icon actually means cold air. It is cooling. Heat is the sun symbol. Not summer, not air conditioning, but actual heat coming out of the unit. Dry is the little water drop, and this one trips people up because in dry mode the temperature number disappears from the screen. That part is normal behavior. Dry mode is not a real dehumidifier with a humidity setting. It just runs the cooling in short bursts to pull moisture out of the air, and the room can actually end up feeling a little cold while it does it. Then there is fan, which just blows air with no heating or cooling at all, which is fine on a mild day. And then there is auto, the arrows going in a loop, and auto is the one that starts the arguments. In auto, the unit decides whether to heat or cool based on the room. Here is what surprises people. Auto does not shut the unit off when you hit your temperature the way a furnace thermostat does. These units are built to run continuously and just ease off, so if you set it and it keeps blowing, it is not broken. That is exactly how it works. If you have a system with several indoor units running off one outdoor unit, I would skip auto entirely because in spring and fall, one room can call for heat while another calls for cool, and the system cannot do both at once. So units get stuck sitting there doing nothing. Now the temperature arrows, and the single most common mistake people make with any air conditioner. Setting the temperature colder does not cool the room down any faster. The unit does not have a secret extra gear that a lower number unlocks. The classic move is to walk into a hot room, jam the set point all the way down to 60 to hurry it along, and then sit there freezing 3 hours later, turning it right back up. All that did was make the unit overshoot. If you actually want the room cold fast and your remote has the button, look for one marked powerful, which runs the unit flat out for about 15 minutes and then eases back to normal. So when you want it cold in a hurry, that is the button to reach for, not the temperature. The fan button, also under the panel, sets how hard the air blows. You will see auto, which lets the unit pick the speed, then a quiet setting that looks like a little face, good for nighttime, then a few manual speeds from low up to high. The fan speed only changes how much air is moving around. If a room feels stuffy but the temperature is already fine, bumping the fan up does more for you than dropping the set point. Then you have the airflow direction, the vanes. The vane button tilts the louver up and down, from aiming straight out at you to pointing down at the floor, or on the swing, where it sweeps back and forth on its own. The fancier remotes add a wide vane button for left and right too. One thing here looks like a malfunction and is not. In cooling, if you leave the louver aimed down, the unit will quietly raise it back toward level after half an hour or so. It does that on purpose, so water does not form on the tilted down blade and drip onto your floor. So just let it do that. Now the 2 energy buttons, and this is where I have to correct something, because even the most watched guides on this exact remote get it wrong. The button is Econo Cool. A lot of videos will tell you it slowly raises the temperature 6 degrees over 8 hours. On current Mitsubishi remotes, that is not what it does. Econo Cool bumps your set temperature up by about 2 degrees and puts the airflow on a gentle swing. Moving air feels cooler than still air, so you stay comfortable at the slightly warmer setting and save somewhere around 20% on the energy. It kicks in right away, and it is not a slow overnight thing at all. If an older guide told you otherwise, it was describing a different feature. The other one is worth knowing, and honestly it is the one button on here I would actually bother to learn. On newer remotes it is called iSave, on older ones Smart Set. It saves a setting you like and brings it back with one press. The genuinely useful part is heat. Normally the remote will not let you set heat below about 61 degrees, but in iSave mode it drops all the way down to 50. That makes it the button for closing up a cabin or a spare room for the winter, warm enough that the pipes do not freeze, cold enough that you are not paying to heat an empty room. Now for the part the popular guides skip, which is exactly what people pile into the comments asking about. Let me start with the clock. Every time you change the batteries, the clock resets and starts blinking, and none of the timer settings work right until you set it again. On the basic remotes, you need something with a fine point, like the tip of a pen, because the clock and reset buttons are recessed down in the panel. Press reset, then press clock, use the time arrows to set it. A quick tap moves 1 minute and holding it jumps ahead faster, then press clock one more time to lock it in. That is the exact thing half the comment section is asking, and the video they watched never showed it. The timer sits right there too, an on timer to start the unit at a set time and an off timer to shut it down. And here is the one that quietly drives people up the wall. If you set a timer by accident, the unit can seem possessed, switching itself on or refusing to turn off when you want it off. If that is happening to you, it is a timer you forgot about. Go into the timer button and cancel it. Clear both the on and the off, and you are back to plain manual control. And here is the big one, the moment you are jabbing at the remote and nothing happens at all. Before you write it off as broken, remember it works on infrared, the same as a television remote. You have to point it right at the unit, in the same room, with a clear line of sight, and wait for the unit to beep back. If you do not hear that chime, it never received the command. There is also a real delay built in, a few seconds to react, and a minute or two before you actually feel the room change, so people hammer the buttons thinking it is broken when it is really just catching up. If you still get nothing, drop in 2 fresh AAA batteries, because a flat remote looks exactly like a dead unit, and that is the first thing a technician checks anyway. There is one real catch worth knowing before you go. Because that temperature sensor sits up in the unit near the ceiling, it reads the warm air that collects up high, so the spot where you are actually sitting often ends up a few degrees off from the number on the screen. The fix most owners land on is simple. Set it a little past what you really want, cooler in summer, warmer in winter, and let it settle there. If your remote is showing the wrong scale, most of them flip between Fahrenheit and Celsius by holding both temperature buttons down together, though it does vary by model. And if the remote is lost or dead for good, there is a small emergency switch on the indoor unit itself, usually behind the front cover, that runs it in a basic mode until a replacement shows up. And that really is all there is to it. A handful of buttons you will actually touch, a few symbols that mislead you, and the useful settings hiding under that panel. If you want the exact button map for your specific model, or a replacement handset if yours has gone missing, both are waiting in the description.